Hey, this is Mike, and first time we're talking here in 2019. So happy 2019 to you. I hope that it has been a great start to the year, and I am looking forward to diving into these again. So for those of you who are new or those who haven't visited me in a while, again, the Live with Mike is a time every Tuesday, 12 noon, where I like to dive into topics of marketing, particularly related to digital marketing and social media marketing, best practices, tips, topics, things that are new with different social media platforms or online, things you need to be aware about for doing your best online, whether that's with your website, social media accounts, and email marketing is included in that, those types of arenas. So that's the key for today, and I've titled today Game Plan for Social Media Lead Generation in 2019. Game Plan for Social Media Lead Generation in 2019. I've done that for a couple of reasons. Number one, that's the title of my book that I wrote. But one of the things with social media is that it evolves and changes quickly. And so within the book, I've laid out a framework that is largely timeless. These things are working online. Again, but you need to hone in and fine-tune on the tactics and the methods that you use because of the changes in social media. So that's what I want to talk about today, and why I've labeled this 2019 Game Plan for Social Media Generation in 2019. All right, so that's what I want to dive into. And as I get started here, a couple things that I want to make you aware of. Number one is that this Wednesday, you can catch me on another live show, and that is on the Social Media Camp Facebook page at, let's see, that's going to be, it's at 5 p.m. Pacific, so that's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Social Media Camp. Now, that's a conference. It's the largest social media conference in Canada, and I'm going to be there as a speaker in April of this year, and so this is a prelude to that. They're having doing some interviews, and I'm this week's interview, so that is 2 days from now. It's going to be, what, January 10th, if I'm correct on my... No, I'm sorry, it's just one more day. Today's Tuesday. So it's going to be January 9th. It's Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and they're going to interview me a little bit on the Social Media Camp page. So I want to let you know about that. But then also, kind of related to that, is that if you're looking for events to attend, I'm speaking at two, which I think are dynamic this year. And I'm going to be at Social Media Camp in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. That's in April, let's see, I don't want to get my dates wrong, but it's in the middle of April there. So you can go to Social Media Camp and search that on Google. It'll get you to that website for the conference there. It's largely a 2-day conference, and beautiful location, downtown Victoria, the convention center, lots of great speakers, and I know that Rand Fishkin is going to be there, Mari Smith is going to be there. They're just bringing in some great people. I'm privileged that I get to be a part of that. So that's one. Second one is heading back again to the great event in the Midwest, the largest social media conference in the Midwest, and that is Social Media Week Lima in Lima, Ohio, by Now Marketing Group. Jessica Phillips, my partner in Magnet Marketers, our weekly show at 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, Magnet Marketers, Facebook Live show. But that event is middle of June then, and so you can go to search that Social Media Week Lima, Lima, and that's going to be a great event. So I've spoken there a number of years. That event just continued to grow over the course of time, and in terms of attendance, in terms of top-notch speakers that she's bringing in. Jessica's going to outdo herself this year, so I want to point to those and give you a lead-in. You want to get more intensive than what I'm doing here in these 15 minutes. You can go to Canada, you can go to the Midwest. We'll meet up at those. But let's dive into the topic here again today. Game plan for social media generation, lead generation in 2019. So again, what's the purpose of social media for your business if it doesn't help you ultimately grow some leads? So you need to be thinking about how it helps you grow a lead. And you have to think in a multi-step process here. Most people are not on social media to just buy right away, see and buy kind of thing. So you can't just be doing shot things and say, hey, here's an offer, come in and get it. That type of thing. That you have to think long tail and have a process in place. So that's what my funnel does that I lay out in the book. The funnel, I believe, is timeless. And it's just the tactics that have to be updated based on what's working in social media today. So revisiting the funnel in general is that at the top, you need to have some of your content that is geared towards attraction. This is actually a large part of your content. Attract the right audience, attract the right people. These are people like your current customers, your best current customers who will buy from you. That's what you want to do. So you want to take a look at how can you attract those now, and so your posts out there offer value, offer resources, offer information, offer help, offer tips. Showcase who you are, who your team is. That's a way to attract the right tribe. Now again, paid is really a key way as well. So Facebook ads, Instagram ads, those types of things to get in front of, because that way you can target your specific demographic. You know what your ideal client looks like, you know where they're at, you know what their age range is, some of their interests. So ads allow you on social media to get in front of that particular audience. So you're trying to get in front of them there and have them become a fan, a follower, and then you're trying to build some rapport, some equity over time with them through some great posts. And that's the second thing, is engagement then. Posts that invite questions, that invite comments, that invite shares, that invite likes, loves, that type of engagement. And that, number one, you can respond to that, and that helps build the thread between you and other people, one to many. But as well, it works with the algorithms on Facebook and Instagram. So if you're doing that, then that's telling the algorithm that those people who have engaged with your content want to see, you like that content, want to see more of that content. And so then the algorithm, if they've engaged with it, will show them more of that. So that's positive. Well, so now we went through the top of the funnel. The broadest part is attract. The second part is engage. And then ultimately we want to move some of them into the lead capture mechanism. We want to move them from a fan to a follower to what I call a lead. And a lead is another mechanism to reach them. Typically that's going to be either an email address or their phone number, where you could follow up with like text message marketing, that type of thing, or you're going to get them to bring a coupon into the store or something like that. So what can you do? So as part of your content, you need to be thinking about this now. So most people make the mistake of evaluating some content from some pages here recently, and they have too many sales pitch posts and not enough attraction and engagement or even lead capture posts. That's the bulk of what you have there. So I say 50% of your content, your posts in 1 week's time should be attraction oriented. 30% of your posts should be engagement oriented, things that you're trying to get people to dialogue. You want to ask a question, you want to have some commentary, back and forth with them about, or you want to get them to share something. 20% of it is moving down into that a lead capture arena. I just said that wrong. So I want to say attraction and engagement is 50%, lead capture is 30%, and specific offers are 20%. That's the speaking too fast. Need to slow down. All right, and so your lead capture is typically going to take place in one of two ways. Number one, you can use some type of lead capture mechanism on the social media platform. So Facebook has lead ads that you can do, and or you're going to try to drive them, and again with an event sign up, that might be it. You might be using Facebook's event sign up. That can be part of the lead capture, or else you're going to try to get them to your website, via call to action on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever that is. Wherever your audience is where you should be represented, to get them over to the website where you have a page, a landing page, or a specific call to action, a pop-up that gives them something of value in exchange for their name, and their email address or their phone number, whatever your mechanism you're going to try to follow up with them using. But you're not done there then, so they haven't necessarily bought anything. You just know who they are, but now's the time to really go deeper and have a sequence set up to share with them the emails over the course of 10 days, 2 weeks, a couple different emails, that type of thing. That's what I go into in detail in the book, where you want to have some type of an autoresponder nurture series. So that's the fourth point in the funnel, is to, after you've got the lead, you want to nurture that lead. And that's key, because trust, resources, you're explaining who you are, what you can do, case studies, all those types of things. It's taking away their questions, it's educating them, it's helping them feel comfortable with who you are before you make a offer at the end of that. That's the fifth thing in the funnel. And then the sixth piece is that you want to evaluate that. And so that's in a nutshell the funnel. I'm going to have in the blog post here, I'll drop the funnel in so you can see that, and you can go into more details. Again, the book is good on that piece. What we need to talk about now, because things change all the time, is what's working. And what's working on social media now that I've seen this continue to grow, is number one, videos. Okay, so I think that video has just continued. That was the story in 2018. It's the story in 2019. It has not changed. Short videos. I like to use 1 minute videos, because you can use that same video then on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I think that works well. Then there's a separate type of video, which would be a longer form. Maybe it could be 5 to 10 minutes, like even this podcast, which is going to be like 15 minutes, which I use on YouTube. Okay, I don't put that on Facebook as a full video, other than this Facebook Live right here. But video is important, so people have an opportunity to see and experience you, learn from you, receive. They can see the product being set up, they can see the product being used, or in this case like this, they can receive tips that can help them as they're thinking through their marketing in the next number of weeks, months, even tomorrow, with some simple changes that they can make. So video is really working. Working with some stands in the marketplace here, and some of the things that are working there are just people telling the story about their products. I mean, you know your products in and out. You think that it's clear and apparent when somebody comes into the store what you offer. You probably offer more than what people would generally see and understand, and they are not bored with you telling them about that. So you can do these little videos which just says, hey, this is who we are, this is what we got for you, this is this, and you can showcase it on the platter, the plate, whatever their product is. Talk about it a little bit, some of the details of that, and some of the key things that set it apart, make it attractive, and boom, that's your video. And those types of things on a repeating basis with different ones can really help. They do well for attraction, they do well for engagement, and a video can be used in the capture piece to drive people over to your website. You're talking to them, telling them what to do, rather than writing it out all in text and relying on the text to do that. So video is working. Number two, I want you to be aware of stories. So stories they started out on Instagram, they have moved to Facebook, and that's those little round circles at the top there, where it's kind of the Snapchat-esque features, typically disappearing content that you can put, photos or 15-second videos, and they're just getting more advanced and they're getting more use. So on Instagram, stories are set to overtake the news feed in terms of the amount of time that people are spending in them, what they're seeing in those. So that's important to note, that you need to be, a lot of people they're just getting, small businesses are getting into Instagram and they're thinking it's the feed and they're missing the stories piece. And so you got to be aware of the stories, because you can run ads into stories, and stories have other little tools. They give you options for location, for hashtags, for searching for gifts, so you can kind of animate what you're putting onto a photo and that type of thing. And a simple example here is a post for a new product that was coming out in the stand where I'm doing, the marketplace where I'm doing social media. one of the vendors is rolling out a new product, and so showcase that in a story. Use the gift to say congrats. So it's got this congrats. You launched a new product, and those type of simple things catch the eye, build more engagement, and so that's why they're helpful. Stories do disappear unless you archive them, which is another topic for a different time. So you can run time-specific offers, but it just forces you to say you're going to have to stories. You're going to have to keep up with. You're going to have to keep rolling them out. But people are watching stories. It's a way for them to get to know you, to see your content. So be aware of that. The third thing that is what's working that I want you to be aware of, and that is, and I kind of already talked about with stories, but that's just Instagram in general. Instagram continues to grow in popularity and grow in use, grow in the demographic. So again, you want to be where your demographic is spending time, and if your demographic is not, then you don't need to be there. But what we're seeing is that the Instagram demographic is expanding. It's not just teenagers, not just 20-somethings, it's expanding well in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And so that's important because that's a major buying demographic when you think the people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. And that's a place where you can reach them, they can follow you, and they can understand your brand, what's happening there. So you need to be aware, taking a look at some Instagram strategies and involvement with that in your market if your demographic is within that. And again, with ads that you can run, you can really target well so it is working for solopreneurs, it is working for retailers, it is working for online retailers. I think it is working even for manufacturers who are trying to showcase some of their products that you need to buy from a dealer, that type of thing. I think it's working well for them as well, and so for larger brands. So there's multiple pieces there with Instagram that it can be used for. Those are some of the keys that are working as we start into 2019 here. I don't expect them to go away anytime soon. So as you're looking at 2019, think about how you can do some 1-minute videos. How can you increase your use and experiment with stories on your Facebook page and in Instagram, business profile? How can you take a look at maximizing what you're doing on Instagram? Okay. Finally, I'm just going to wrap up with the things that I see most often that people are missing. Small businesses that I work with, what are they not doing? What's a gap point for them? Number one is integration. They're not seeing the connection between Instagram and something else, like Instagram and their website and growing their email list. Okay, those things need to be thought through to be integrated, and so you need to have a pathway. So I'm going to use this social media platform, and I'm going to drive some traffic from this platform to this web page to this page where I have this type of pop-up. I want to take care of my lead capture thing on my website. I need to have my email nurture campaigns set up. How these things relate together. So integration is missing way too much, and you need to take a look at that. All right. Another thing is just planning ahead. I think too many small businesses, you get stuck in a rut. I know you're answering phones. I know you're getting a new product out. I know you're taking care of payroll. I know you got multiple things, but this is important. And if marketing's important, you need to plan ahead. So you can't just be going, I need to post something on social media. You need to be thinking ahead. This is January. What do I need to do towards for this month? And what do I need to be thinking of that comes up in February? Okay, so be thinking ahead on these pieces. Jot some notes down. Plan some things out. You can schedule. You can use some tools. I'm a big fan of Agora Pulse. So you can schedule posts that are going to go out on Instagram, on Facebook at different times. You probably don't want to do that for all of your stuff, but you can for those things you want to plan ahead, you can have the key things in there. Then you can intersperse that on a weekly basis with some of the other in the moment type of posts. But planning needs to happen. I'm seeing that be missed too often. It's like with life. We're all busy, but if you want social media to work, don't say it's not working if you're not planning, if you're not integrating. Okay, and the last thing with that, it's related, is consistency. You can't just, go on a hot streak and post 3 times in one day and then be done for the week, okay? You need to be present throughout the week. It doesn't mean you have to post 7 times, a week, every day kind of thing. You're going to have to be active, though. I think at a minimum, you're going to be taking a look at least 4 times, 5 times a week, minimum, on a platform to be relevant on that platform, okay? Now, there's things that you need to be thinking about in terms of consistency. So with the YouTube video, that can be different. You're not going to post a YouTube video every day, but you might need to be posting one a week. You might need to be posting once every 2 weeks, that type of thing. So there's different ones for different platforms, but Facebook and Instagram, you're going to have to be at a minimum of 4 to 5 posts a week. Twitter, at least that as well. Just because, a tweet has a short lifespan. It's out there and it's gone in 20 minutes. People don't see it again necessarily. So consistency in posting and the cohesiveness. So game plan for social media lead generation 2019 involves those keys. Come on with a blog post to take a look at some more of the details with this. But that's what I want to leave with you as you start the year. That's kind of the broad strokes. That's the framework. That's some of the intricacies of what's working now. And I saw my band here in the screen, and you can always add value. Okay, and if you do your marketing in an uncommon way, you will stand out. So think of how can your social media posts add value to those that are engaging with it, and how can you do it in an uncommon way so that you stand out. There's going to be other people, always there's competition, but how can you attract your tribe, those who will be attracted and want to buy from you and connect with you? You do that by being your authentic self, and that is going to be, that's not means you're not just like everybody else, okay? And that's what's uncommon about it. All right, so that's what I'm going to start out with this year. Hopefully that is helpful to you. Again, every Tuesday, getting back into the routine now. 12 noon, we'll dive into these things. If you have any questions, put them out. Comments, let me know. All right, this is Mike with Live with Mike and the Halftime Mike podcast. Take care.